Welcome to the Brass and Woodwind Shop. This is the Building a Slide Trumpet Series. I have my granite block, and I use that for a lot of trombone work. It's very flat and level, and you can use that for making sure that the slides are also level. So you set it on there like that. Now I'm going to put the crook on there. And let's see, I'm going to line that up. Okay, that's good. And the way you tell if it's out of alignment is you tap on the sides. And if they go tap, 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 then kind of like that, you know it's out of alignment, but these seem to be level. I'm not sure if they're parallel yet. I'm going to solder this end first, and then after that, I'm going to make sure that they are the right distance apart on both sides, and then I'm going to solder this part. But first I want to make sure it's level, and then I will make sure that they are parallel. Everything's lined up, and now I'm going to solder these joints. I'll put some flux on there and heat it up to temperature. I need to make sure that the solder goes all the way around to the other side. That looks good. Now the other one. Soldering is not really that hard. A lot of people are intimidated by soldering. But once you get the basics, most solder joints are not really that hard to do. There are some hard solder joints, but most of them are fairly easy. Okay. I have a spray bottle with water mixed with some ammonia in there, and that neutralizes the flux so that the flux stops eating away at the metal. I'm going to clean that up. I did put too much solder on there. I'm going to have to clean that up. Not the best solder joint I've ever done. I'm going to clean up the solder because I put too much on there. The rest of it will just buff off when I go to re-lacquer this. The slide tubes are level. Now I need to make sure that they're the same distance apart here as they are here. The way I'm going to do that is use my dent balls. These dent balls go from 1/4 inch up to 3/4 of an inch at 5/1000ths of an inch increments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the one that fits in between there. Okay, we're getting close. Right there, okay. Yeah, that one. Then I'm going to see how it fits here. Okay. Okay, so that is good. Now I'm going to solder these together so that the sides can stay parallel with each other. There's just one solder joint to do this because they're so close together. The solder is going to go in on both sides. So this should be an easy solder joint to do. Okay, that's about it. I'm checking the slide again to see that nothing shifted. Okay, that one fits in between there. Let's see if the next size up does. No, it should be good. I'm also going to check to see if it's still level. Yes, it is. So this side should be good. Now I have to do the inner side. When I put the outer slide together, I used the granite block to help make sure that this was level. Now I'm going to use the outer slide as a guide for the inner slides. I put the slide in all the way, and I'm going to put this piece on top of that, except it goes the other way. And I'm going to leave a little gap, and that's because I'm going to put some cork in the cork barrels when I put the cork barrels on there. So I need a little gap. I do not want the slide to go in all the way when you're playing in first position. I do want it to come out a little bit. Otherwise, every time you go into first position, it's going to bang the bottom of the slide. So I'm just going to leave a little bit of gap, and then the cork will compensate for that and also make a little bigger gap. I'm going to solder this piece to the inner tuning slide now. I'm going to solder these two pieces together, and I'm going to try not to solder the inner side to the outer side because that would make a big mess. Okay, put some flux on there, and then, solder's going the wrong direction. There it goes. I'm going to let the solder harden. Oh, it hasn't hardened yet. I'm going to pull that out and see if the solder made it to the end. It did not. I'm also going to solder from the other side too. Usually I don't, but solder did not make it all the way through. So I'm going to solder the other side. I got one of the tubes soldered. Now I'm going to solder the other one. I'll put that up there, make sure that there's the same amount of space. And this one is a little bit longer than the other one. I'm going to cut that down as needed after I am done. I want to make sure I don't cut it too short. I'm going to build the rest of the slide and then I'm going to cut it down. Now I'm going to put the inner slide together, and I have the tube that I shortened, and I'm going to put that in between the two. And then I'm going to use the outer slide as the guide as to how far apart these slides should be. Because if it's too far, that's going to cause problems, or if it's too close together, that's going to cause problems. So it needs to be right in the middle. That looks good. And then since this slide is level, this one also should be level. So I think I am ready to solder these together. A lot of people ask me what kind of torch I use and what kind of gas. I use an acetylene torch, and that seems to work for what I need it for. There are other types that do work, but this works the best for what I do and how much I use a torch and everything. Let's see, the solder did not exactly go where it was supposed to. I'm going to have a lot of solder cleanup to do on this one, but that happens sometimes. I don't know if you saw that. When you heat up air, it expands, and this brace is hollow, so it expanded. And I could see the sides expand when I heated that up. So I'm going to have to push these sides back together, or else they're going to be too far apart. So that looks good. I'm going to hold it there until it cools off. Okay, that should be good. Now I'm going to see how the slide works. It looks like the sides are a little too far apart. When I push them both off to one side, there is a little bit of wiggle on this side. So I think I'm going to have to push it together a little bit more. So I'm going to heat that up again. And wait until the solder melts. And then I'm going to push the sides together just a little bit. That's probably a little too much. Okay, well, I'm just going to do this until it is good. Okay. I think that is good. Yes, that looks good. So, there. That should be done. It's a few minutes later, and I allowed the slide to cool off, and there is the inner slide. Now I'm going to put the cork barrels on there. They go right there, if I can get it on there, and right there. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more band instrument repair videos, and look in the description below for links to other related videos.